Data Chief is a podcast for data and analytics leaders to share their personal stories and insights on technology, culture, and leadership. Welcome to the Data Chief.
The Data Chief is brought to you by ThoughtSpot, the AI-powered analytics company. With ThoughtSpot's user-friendly platform, anyone can leverage natural language search and generative AI to uncover actionable data insights. Whether you're a seasoned data analyst, a business leader, or product builder, ThoughtSpot empowers you to effortlessly interact with live cloud data, generating granular, hyper-personalized insights in real time. Learn why customers at Cigna, Just Eat Takeaway, and Capital One trust ThoughtSpot to drive business outcomes with data. Visit ThoughtSpot.com today.
Welcome to the Data Chief. I'm your host, Cindi Howson, and joining us today is Manbir Paul, VP of Engineering, Data Insights, and MarTech at Sephora. Today, we'll be diving into Sephora's data-driven approach to personalization and the exciting potential of AI in shaping the future of customer experiences. Manbir, welcome to the Data Chief.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and where in the world are you joining us from today?
I'm in the sunny part of the San Francisco area, away from San Francisco fog a little bit on the east side.
Okay.
It's sunny out.
Nice. Yeah, well, the bridge is pretty cool looking when it's peeking through the fog, so that's not always a bad thing. Manbir, you have had such an iconic career with iconic CPG and retail brands. Take us a little bit through that and how you came to focus on data and AI.
Yeah, good question. An interesting journey as well. So I've been in, I have to say, from a timeline perspective, about a decade and a half in the retail space, both in product and engineering. But believe it or not, I started my journey on the product side. So I was leading products, thinking, building products, and that's been my passion from the start. But of course, tech has been at my heart, so that's where the engineering part comes in. And when these two things combine, you can just create some amazing things out of it. So a decade and a half doing all of that, almost everything within the retail space. And one of the things that kept me going in learning and exploring new areas was my attraction towards solving problems. And I was blessed by having the right mentors, the right leaders, and the right team members along with me. That gave me an opportunity to be involved in solving the toughest problem that's available out there. And that kind of opens up your horizon. And that's kind of how the journey moved through exploring different areas until I stumbled across the world of data, and there was no turning back from there.
Yeah, well, as you know, I love data as well. We have something else in common, so I'll mention a few of the brands that you have worked with. Levi Strauss, Cost Plus World Market, Men's Warehouse. Anyone else you want to add there?
AT&T.
Okay, yeah. Way back in the beginning, yes, AT&T.
It's been a journey being in the tech space. I was in Intel for some time, worked in different kind of startups before I got into retail. So it's been a whirlwind, but enjoyed the journey.
Yeah, so this may make you chuckle. I'm going to take you back to 1999 when I had just finished my MBA with the intention of leaving the analytics space, but started a project at Men's Warehouse when I was in Houston, yes. And it was an analytics project, but we were not allowed to use the D word, the dirty D word of data warehouse. I'm sure when you came later, it was a very different world, but I thought that was an interesting intersection of our journeys.
Wow. Yeah, that's definitely very interesting. Yeah, and funny times of those times where you had to figure out the the data side of the problems without using the term data. I mean, that was the times at that time, and look where we are today.
Yes, I know. Now data is front and center, part of every boardroom conversation. What was your epiphany moment, Manbir, in recognizing the criticality of data?
Hmm. So, as I said earlier, it was all about solving the toughest problem, and I feel in the data space, the problem of having the availability of data and accuracy of data is something that has been a problem that has been dealt with almost every day if you're in this space. And that's an interesting problem to solve. But I think the challenge becomes when you start taking this problem uh, very literally, of solving data accuracy challenges or data availability challenges. But I feel there is um, when you talked about the epiphany moment, it's more about um, solving the problem that can have the biggest impact in enhancing the experiences that your clients have with you as a brand. It is much beyond thinking about, is the data accurate or is the data available for me, but is the data impactful for making a decision, or um, or 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 driving an experience for a client that really surprises and delights them. And I feel um, the intimate details. We always talk about getting closer to our clients. We want to experience our clients. And I feel the intimate details that data gets to you, getting your clients be so close to you, um, is a very different lens to look at data from. It is a gift of feedback that the clients give to you or your consumers give to you in terms of data. And being able to use that in understanding what they're looking for and really surprising and delighting them is the lens that, when I started looking at data through, was for me an epiphany moment in understanding what data really means and why is it important. And that really transformed the way of looking at data, um, in driving an impactful um, transformation for the business.
Manbir, it's so interesting. You used the word intimate, knowing the customer intimately and how intimate data can be. I think we don't often, we think of data as just so a conceptual thing, not non-intimate, some inanimate thing. And yet at Sephora, it really is how you know every customer. How has Sephora always thought this strategically about data, or what's changed?
Hmm. Yeah, interesting. I feel, um, with the experience that we provide to our clients in stores or online, um, I think that experience talks data. It is, intentionally or unintentionally, historically speaking, there has been a part of being able to understand our clients in terms of their preferences, their likes and dislikes, their brand propensities, and all of that, which is key for us to be able to really serve our clients the best. And I feel in today's term, when we talk about data, it is just amplifying that concept and tagging that concept as data first thinking and theories around that. But I feel if I really look at the experience that we drive for our clients, across different assets, as they engage with with Sephora as a brand, I think it's more of intelligence first thinking. Um, it is about looking at the ability to produce intelligence from the data that we have. Um, and that's an important tool in our arsenals to really be able to surprise and delight our clients, be able to understand their needs and understand the right moment to serve them what they're looking for, and really make their lives more memorable for those special moments, or really make sure that we are there for them and they belong to the brand if they're part of the Sephora family. So it's an aspect of intelligence first instead of data first, I would say, that really makes us look at data as a tool that can help us do better for our clients.
Yeah, I think that's a really good distinction, intelligence first. And I think I shared with you when I first met you at NRF a couple of years ago that if you were using that intelligence, you would know that in the Howson household, I am not your best customer. It's actually my husband who likes to buy new things for me. But I did have the opportunity in the last year. We were vacationing in Hawaii, and there was a beautiful Sephora store in Honolulu. And I'm like, I have to go do customer research. And the customer experience was excellent, especially as I'm not an easy customer, just, trying to describe what I'm looking for. But if you think of your more loyal customers and the moments that matter, can you share a story of how this intelligence makes a difference in a moment that matters?
Yeah, there are quite a few of them. I'll share one that's a really short moment that I had, but very impactful. Um, was a meeting that I was having with some partners, and they happened to be our very loyal clients, our Rouge clients, and an experience that was shared was really helpful in understanding the emotions that goes in when we try to do our best in serving the right thing for our clients. And the moment was a very micro moment for that individual in their journey. And that was an individual who was traveling quite a lot and catching one flight after other and all of that, and was very cautious about the products that she used and making sure that uh, skin is something that is near and dear to that individual's heart. And being able to walk into the airport, getting into a flight, and right before that, getting a push notification that, hey, don't forget your moisturizer or hydrator as you're getting into the flight to be to serve your skin as you go through your flight journey. It was when we build something like that for an engineer, that is a piece of functionality, but for a client, getting that experience is emotional. It is an aspect of we being there for them, to look out for them, and being able to make sure that they can get the right products that they're looking for, and we understand them. I think there are a lot of emotions that plays into that, and it was that micro moment that made me realize the importance of what those micro moments are and the emotions that get tied to it.
For sure. And we know that flying dries out our skin. So that's important. One of my colleagues also shared how Sephora helped them when they forgot their favorite beauty product at a critical moment, a wedding.
Yeah.
And so being there for them in these micro moments, that is how you build loyalty and just delight. So it's clear that you have a focus on the customer and tech is just an enabler. Can you share a little bit about what is the tech stack that powers this intelligence?
Yeah. So we are, when we look at technology in this space, we understand that we need to bring this technology in the hands of the team members who are experts in what they do. The impact of having a merchandiser who understand their areas of products, being able to leverage the technology to do best in what they do, is an what creates an impact which is uh, more meaningful for us. And for that, the aspect of democratizing the need of these technologies across the enterprise has been key as we build that tech stack for us. We are a multi-cloud strategy as our foundational ability. We want to make sure that we capture the best capabilities and tools out there to serve our clients. We want to make sure that there are tools that help us enable scaled implementations in driving personalization, and that's where our Databricks platform enables us doing that. We have a lot of focus in driving meaning for the data, which is metadata, semantic layers, and there are different tools that help us do that. In addition to our investment in the BI space, where the most recent addition that we did with ThoughtSpot was primarily because of the enablement of meaningfulness to the data. Being able to get to our clients where our clients are interacting with data and be able to enhance our semantic layer in driving intelligence in our BI space. And that's where the BI enablement happens. In addition to that, we do have data cataloging solutions, a couple of them in our space, along with ML democratizations using Databricks and Dataiku.
Great. So truly a modern data and AI stack. When you mention letting merchandisers have access to the data, this is why you brought ThoughtSpot in. Is that right?
Yeah. We have been looking at BI from a perspective of serving our consumers who are looking for insights. But I feel we're at a point where there is more than serving. There's enablement that's needed in this space. And from looking at ThoughtSpot as a BI enablement for our data consumers has been a transformation journey for us, not just because of the enablement from a BI self-service perspective, but being able to get to our clients when they are exploring, when they're trying to understand the data, and being able to enable them to capture that understanding of data. That helps us enrich our semantic layers based on how they look at data. That has driven a lot of value for us in understanding the business concepts behind the data that we have. And it has been a tremendous enabler for us, even with this whole generative AI space that is coming in. We are realizing the fact of how much you can drive value from the advancements in the AI space by capturing the meaning of the data that exists within your enterprise across different fields within the business. And I feel tools like ThoughtSpot and other semantic layer enablers have been key for us in driving us forward with impactful experience building using advancements of the AI space as well.
Yeah, for sure. You and I agree on the importance of a semantic layer for a number of reasons. There's the governance, there's the business definitions, nuances, all of this. As you talk with your peers in the industry, though, do you think some who are thinking, oh, we'll just roll our own generative AI application and the semantic layer doesn't really matter, do you think they're underestimating the importance of this?
I think, Cindi, in this space, there is a very reactive way of approaching some of these opportunities. And I feel, I think when I talk within the industry and other leaders, I'm quite excited to see how many people talk about the word semantic now versus maybe a year or 2 years back. And I think as people are getting involved in the generative AI space and starting to play with the data or letting AI figure out what the data is, the realization of how much importance it is to have a enriched semantic layer is becoming clearer and clearer. And I feel organizations that are really trying to drive impactful results from investments in the AI space, they are very fast in realizing the importance that semantic layers plays over here. At the same time, it is very interesting to see how many organizations implicitly, in some shape or form, invest in building semantic layer. You talk about medallion architecture, raw, silver, gold. I mean, gold is nothing but a form of building semantic layers. And there are a lot of implicit investments that go in getting organizations to generate results from these technologies. But I think individuals who are really um, honed into driving consistent, impactful results, they realize the role of semantic layer and explicitly drive investment in that space to mature that muscle. So I think it's getting more visibility and people are getting more aware about it.
Yeah, I think it's also maybe it's this thing too that the industry for too long thought about semantic layers as just a technology where, part of the plumbing, which is not exciting. And yet the reality is it's the way we get to trust, governance, reusability, no hallucinations. So as you think about how you facilitate this, how do you balance the need for governance and reusability with the speed of the business at Sephora?
Yeah. Um, very, very passionate topic for me. I think I I would, I would love to hear what you think about this as well. But my perspective on this is really, um, it is a collaborative journey. It is an aspect of inclusion across the enterprise in order to get to that governance building and to get to that level of enrichment. And I feel it is important to drive inclusion in this space. There are terms like data stewardship programs and all of that that are being used. And it's one of the key things that helps us drive this is identifying individuals who are subject matter experts in their areas and passionate about data to help all of us be successful in the results that we want to drive. Think including them to help drive governance, including them to help drive uh, enrichment, semantics, cataloging. Um, it is a it is a it is a federated experience that needs to be driven. It has to be democratized. It has to be included with individuals across your enterprise who know they're part of the data and can help contribute in driving that governance and enrichment for the organization. So I think the aspect of collaboration and inclusion across the enterprise, it has to be a shared accountability uh, with certain governance standards or best practices that can go in, has been key in driving this while keeping the speed to market delivery going as well. But it's a journey. We're not there yet.
You're pretty far along, though, Manbir. Let's give credit where credit is due. When you talk about this shared responsibility and you use the word federated, where do the data stewards actually sit within the organization?
Um, they need to be sitting at different parts of the organization. They have to be sitting closest to where we generate uh, impact to business, where we generate experiences for clients. Um, these individuals have to be as close to our client experiences and our clients um, in order for this model to be successful. And we have individuals within our business teams. We're blessed to have business teams that are passionate and focused in driving data governance, data accuracy, data enablement, having that thought process, enabling that thought process around them. They act like uh, um, they act like the mentors within that area. They are the evangelists within their areas, and and having these kind of individuals be part of the quote unquote stewardship program has been key for us in really driving meaningful impact in this space while enabling speed to market and driving experiences for our clients.
I once wrote in one of our annual predictions guides that some of the new roles in organizations should be the role of an evangelist. Do you actually call them evangelists, or what job title do they garner?
That's a good one, and maybe we need to think about that word again. No, we don't call them evangelists. We do call them data stewards.
Okay.
Uh, we we do we do have a cadence at which we get together as data stewards and distribute kudos and awards, and evangelist awards is one of them. So we do something like that. But yeah, that's very true. You're right.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't love the term job title evangelist. It almost sounds like cheerleader. It kind of undermines the impact or the importance of the role. One person on his team calls them a data Sherpa. I thought was good. Another is data coach. But these roles, I think that they are federated, but with a tight collaboration back to the central team is important. How do you ensure that dotted line or collaboration between centralized and decentralized?
I feel at the core of it, there is a tendency to drive collaboration for individuals. Uh, and I think the only catalyst that enables that is being able to support individuals in what success means to them. And in this case, being able to support our data stewards in what success means to them in their day-to-day business, in their day-to-day jobs, driving their goals. If the central governance body or individuals who are there as support and consultants can provide that level of guidance and support for these data stewards to be successful in what they do, that enables collaboration. And I feel that's the only catalyst that supports collaboration. Innately, collaboration is there within individuals, really.
It's there within individuals, but I think what you're describing is part of the culture.
Yeah.
Part of the culture. Is that really, is having shared goals and alignment to those the secret ingredient? Or is it the people, what gets celebrated, the awards that you have? What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, goals play a part of this. Defining aligned objectives definitely play a part of this. But celebration is a big part of it as well. I think there is a big cultural setting that's needed as you celebrate certain moments and acknowledge certain moments that are driving a change for the organization and helping drive what we want to do for our clients the best. I think it's partly both of them, and I would index a little bit more on the celebration part.
Well, tell me more. What did you celebrate and how did you celebrate it? If you can think of a recent one that you're allowed to share.
Yeah, we recently did a celebration with all of our data stewards coming together and really sharing their journey, um, coming from different parts, different kind of backgrounds, and getting into a data stewardship role. Uh, how the satisfaction that they got by leveraging the knowledge that they had and learning something new within the data space and enabling their partners in being able to use that technology and play with that technology. Um, it's amazing to see how much individuals are ready to learn and grow, especially if that learning can help enable themselves and their teams to do their jobs better. And just celebrating those moments together by really acknowledging those individuals who are going to that extra mile in really being able to first learn and be able to share the gift of the learning and up-level the teams around them. I think that has been a success, and we've enjoyed that journey together with them.
I do think people are very excited to learn. And boy, is there a lot to learn. Every single day now, the pace is incredible.
Yeah.
I get the sense that the main challenge is that people don't have enough time to learn while they're still keeping all the innovations and deliverables in flight. What do you think?
True. But I also think that there's certain part of there's something within the learning part that really makes you figure out the time that's needed for you to learn. I've seen individuals who've had busy daytime jobs, maybe extended hours, but still attending cohort sessions, training sessions, because they're passionate about something and they want to learn and grow. And I think given an opportunity where there is an enablement for them to learn, enablement meaning platforms or cadences or cohorts or trainings, I think there is an second wind of energy that comes in within individuals when there's an opportunity to learn. So yes, that's true. Burnout kicks in, but at the same time, if you look at a longer stretch of time, there is a tendency to go above and beyond if there's a learning opportunity.
Yeah. Manbir, we've heard about all the great things about data and AI and business impact and customer experience, but there must have been some challenges along the way as you transform. What might have been one of those challenges, and what would you do differently now?
Hmm. I feel the biggest challenge is unlearning and relearning. Um, or in other terms, we can talk about this as upscaling. And as we touched on, there is so much speed at which things are changing. And we as humans get very comfortable with the ways of working, and we have a warm and fuzzy feeling around that, and changes are hard. But at the same time, there is an aspect of looking at a problem or looking at an opportunity from a different lens. Um, and I feel I think that's the hardest part to do within an organization, especially when there is a well-baked process and solutions established within the organization. And I feel one of the most uh, the thing that has been most challenging through that journey is really giving individuals an opportunity to look at this changing landscape from a new lens instead of something that they've been familiar with, which can take forever, really. And that slows down the transformation, that slows down advancements in the solutions and technologies that you select. And um, one thing, if I would do differently going forward, is um, giving individuals in the team an opportunity and a benefit of doubt that they can really transform the way they do their work today by themselves. Um, I think giving every team member an opportunity, saying you're capable by yourself to drive transformation, and empowering them will be a big takeaway for me if I have to do something differently in order to scale transformations in businesses, advancements in upscaling. Um, and I think that has been something that, in fact, keeps me up at night as well. And I would say that's one of the learning opportunities. How do you really look at the nuances of building a high-performing team and a nimble team that can adjust to the different ways of working and transform themselves.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Manbir. I feel like we could explore so many topics for a while, but why don't we switch to a lightning round, short, fun questions. Do you have your own favorite product from Sephora that you like to use?
Yes. In fact, it is the favorite for my wife. It's a moisturizer, Honey Hola. And she's always curious why the moisturizer is finished so early. So
Yeah, there you go. Honey Hola. Okay, you've given me one to try. How about a book or a podcast that you think everyone should read or listen to?
yeah. See, quite a few books. The latest one is gonna be, in fact, a book that one of my team members gave me. It's the Geek Way by Andrew McAfee. A very interesting book about reading different geek company founders and how they approach building the culture of really being nimble and moving fast and transforming and building products.
No, sounds like one I should read too. How about a skill or an area of knowledge that you are currently focused on developing?
I would say the same that we talked about earlier. It's about building high-performing team. How do we understand the nuances that are important in transforming a team into a high-performing team?
Okay. And then the last one, you choose, depending on your mood in the moment, either what are you most grateful for, maybe beyond the obvious of health and family and this great industry that we get to work in, or something that has totally made you laugh out loud of late?
Hmm. I'll take both. I'll start with the laugh out loud. Laugh out loud is when I see my cats in the yard playing the catching game with the moles,
Ah, oh,
let them go and pretend that they're not watching when they move out. Uh, and if I have to think about being grateful for the time that we're in, uh, it is definitely a journey and a time that we've never seen before. And grateful for the uh, family that is around me, the team that supports me through this, and the mentors that have had trust in me and got me so far. So that's what.
beautifully said. Beautifully said, Manbir. And we are grateful that you've been on the Data Chief podcast and all the wonderful products that Sephora brings to market. Thank you, Manbir.
Thank you, Cindi.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Data Chief. Want to learn more about today's guest, recommend a future guest, or listen to more of the show? Subscribe to the Data Chief podcast on your favorite podcast player, connect with Cindi on LinkedIn, or give her a shout on X at BI Scorecard. The Data Chief is brought to you by ThoughtSpot. Putting humans at the center of data-driven decision-making doesn't have to be complicated. ThoughtSpot makes it easy. With ThoughtSpot, anyone in your organization can intuitively answer their own data questions, find facts, and make better, faster decisions that drive real business value. Learn how companies like PepsiCo, EasyJet, and Electronic Arts have sparked their data renaissance at ThoughtSpot.com.